want your business to go to another level. You must try to learn and hear something new. So make the change today. So don't procrastinate and see your business grow and change. So check out Testing Results, yeah, with Tony Harris Taylor. Tony Harris Taylor. Testing Results, oh yeah, Tony Harris Taylor. Yeah.
Welcome to the Drastic Franchise Connectors Show. My name is Tony Harris Taylor, and I am your host. I am the CEO and founder of Drastic Results Marketing and Sales Coaching, where I work with Zors to teach their Z's how to show up, be up, follow up to blow up. In other words, I teach them how to network and grow their local markets. I'm also a franchisee with Network in Action, and I've been a franchisee for 5 years. I am just the newly founded executive director of the Multicultural Franchise Connectors. And then I also am a franchise consultant and coach, helping more people of color and women to find their right fit franchise. Welcome to today's show. Today's show is my guest, franchisor of Best in Class Education, Mr. Hao Lam. Now, we're going to talk about Hao's book and the title of his book. And I love the title. It's From Bad to Worse to Best in Class. Let's say that slowly again. From bad to worse to best in class. So my story kind of mimics that title as well. In 2019, I was in my worst. I was driving Uber, looking for a job, ready to give it up. So what had happened was I was one of the top 5 salespeople for an international email marketing company as a contractor under my own brand, but I was killing it, if I must say so myself, in the sales and marketing for that company. That company said, nope, we're going to cut the compensation 50%. I knew they were paying too much when they was paying what they was paying, but I went along like I didn't know that was coming. And when it came, I was mad. So I stopped working with them. That's the bad. So then I started going into, what am I going to do with the rest of my life? So I started doing MLMs. I did Mary Kay and travel and all these other things. And I just was struggling. And I finally said, I just probably need to go get a job. Actually, my husband said, you need to go get a job. And everything else I was trying wasn't working. It wasn't my heart, my passion. And so I took his lead, even though he hated his job, and started looking for a job. That was the worst. I showed up to an event, met Helen. Helen is an NIA franchisee. I had no idea there were franchises that weren't Burgers Chicken, $1 million. And she followed up with me, introduced me to the brand, and the rest, they say, is history. And now I'm at my best. So today we're going to hear Hao's story. And I've heard it, and it's incredible. From bad to worse to best in class. Here's the lesson. Sometimes when things are bad, you might have to hit your worst to get to your best. I'm going to say that again because I made it up and I need to make sure it's on the recording. Sometimes you go from bad to worse. You have to go to the worst to get to your best, because you don't even recognize your best because you haven't been at the worst. So when we come back, we're going to meet franchisor Mr. Hao Lam, my new friend. We keep showing up. We've been in 4 events together, so he's my new friend, and I wanted you to hear his incredible story. We'll be right back. We are back with my guest, Mr. Hao Lam, CEO and founder of Best in Class. He'll tell you exactly who he is. So go ahead and introduce yourself, sir.
Hello, Tony. First of all, thank you so much for having me. It is such an honor to be in your show. My name is Hao Lam, CEO and founder of Best in Class Education Center. You just mentioned that I'm your new friend. Probably we know each other for quite some time, right? I met you in some of the event, and when you read the title of my book, From Bad to Worst to Best in Class, and then when you share your story, it's in a similar tagline. You just share your bad words, driving Uber, and then now you're leaving the best. And then I think you're also from bad to worse to best in class, right? I mean, when you share your story, it kind of resonate with me. I think we
Yeah.
all we all go through a roller coaster in our life. It is that's the journey, right? Up the valley and then down the dead valley and then up the hill and all that. So that's life, right? And then but we need to stay healthy and enjoy life. Look at you, right? Every time I see you, your local is your big smile on your face.
Thank you so much, Hal. And thanks for saying yes to being on the show. And yes, I think we have been friends a while now. But
Yeah.
let's talk about your story. I mean, keep it short though, Hal, because I've heard
Oh
you
yeah,
tell.
yeah, yeah.
And so from being a kid in Cambodia, I think it was,
Vietnam. I was born in Vietnam. I'm Chinese.
Vietnam. Tell
Yeah.
that story. It's incredible.
Yeah, so today is April 11th, but April 30th, 1975. Believe it or not, it is nearly half a decade. I still remember that day. It was the 4th of Saigon. It's the day my father disappeared. I was only 7 years old, and then he was in the military, fought alongside with the U.S. troop. He disappeared. It was wartime, Tony. Thought he was dead. A year later, he came back. He was released. It was torture, re-educate, rehab, whatever you call it. And they said, you need to leave the country. This is not the place for you to grow up. Told me I was 8 years old. Remember when you have kid and grandkid at 8 years old? Like, what are you talking about, Dad? So for the next 11 years, he didn't do anything. He just, he didn't have me do anything. No school, no nothing. Just send me out. So I was trying to escape from Vietnam for 11 years, meaning that I constantly try and fail. A lot of things happened to me. I was shot at, I was captured, I was tortured, I was in jail, I was released, and I tried it again. Long story short, in 1988, when I was 19 years old, almost 20, I finally made it to the Philippine refugee camp. So I live in Palawan. Many of you have been in the Philippines, know where Palawan is, southwest of the Philippines. I lived there for a year as a refugee. So I study English. English is my first written language. Ironically, today I run a tutoring school, but I was a kid, grow up illiterate, right? That's bad. Worse is in a refugee camp. I was scared. I mean, like my dream came true. But what is this gonna be like in the future, right? I didn't know what's going on. So I was like, I had a dream, Tony. When I was in the Philippine refugee camp, I want to be a student because I've never been in school, right? I saw people with uniform and all this stuff. So long story short, I went to Canada. I finished high school at the age of 23. Not easy. Someone who did not speak English, someone who learned English as ESL, English as a second language. And I thought, well, if I can finish high school, maybe I went on to college. So I actually made it to UBC and finished my college degree at the age of 27. And then Tony, like we all, sometimes we don't know what we were doing. So nobody in my family have a college degree. We're all refugee. Nobody told me that when you go to college, you can study engineering, computer science, business, and all that. Because I did not speak English, Tony, I study math. Because obviously you don't need a lot of English skill to get a math degree. So after I finished school, I couldn't get a job. So I moved down to Seattle in 1995, tried to get a job with a math degree. Guess what? What could you do with a math degree? I didn't have a PhD. I couldn't build airplane for Boeing. So, like you said, what do you do? It's a
Right.
crossroad. You have to
Right.
make ends meet. I was a refugee. So I put up aside, the only thing that I could do is to teach math. I'm very passionate about math because I was good at it. So in June of 1995, almost 30 years ago. Wow, this year, this month is very significant for me because in 2 months it'll be 30th anniversary. I put
Wow.
up a hand to the math, just like you, Tony. Like we just have the gut to do it. I didn't know what I was doing. I didn't have an MBA. Nobody taught me how to do business. I had no idea how to spell franchise back then.
Right.
Okay? I didn't even know how to read an income statement. I put up a sign, and then that's how I started. Of course, fast forward, now I own a franchise. I have 30 plus locations in 9 states. I'm meeting wonderful friends and mentors such as yourself. So that is
So
a really quick thing.
that is a really quick synopsis, and I appreciate that. But now you're tutoring math. Why didn't you just go be a teacher, a school teacher?
Oh, well, Tony, to be a teacher, you need to take another, you have to have a master degree or a teaching certificate. It takes 12 to 24 months. I didn't have money. I got married. I was hungry. I was broke. We couldn't afford to have kids. So I need to do something, right? I don't have 12 more months. I don't have the money to pay tuition. When I came over to the US, let me go back a little bit. When I left Vietnam to the Philippine refugee camp, I had nothing. Refugee camp to a little town in Prince Rupert, I had nothing. Prince Rupert to UBC, I had nothing.
Wow.
UBC to Seattle, I had nothing but student loan. You see, like I came to this wonderful, beautiful country with nothing. And I am so grateful to be here. This is the American dream.
Okay, so you start tutoring. How do you get from tutoring to franchise?
Yeah, so I was the only math teacher because I couldn't afford to hire someone. So I thought maybe I still remember grand opening. We have a handful of students. Back then, there wasn't social media. 30 years ago, Tony.
Correct.
I
Correct.
didn't have money, so I visited a local newspaper, and then I asked him, "Hey, how much it cost to put an ad?" It was like a Chinese paper. He said, I forgot, it was like $80 something. And he saw me young and broke. He said, "Okay, I'll write an article for you. Tell me your story." And that was huge. So I cut the article and I framed it. So that's how I started. Got a handful of students, and then later on, just like any of us entrepreneur, we build one client at a time. So I had more and more students, and I want to teach English too, but I couldn't. So I asked all my students, who's interested in doing English? So some parents said, "Yeah, I'm interested." So I hire an English teacher, and I will start. And then fast forward 15 years later, I have multiple locations in Washington State. And at the beginning, just like many of the franchises told me, many people actually did a licensing agreement before franchise, and so did I. I didn't know what I was doing, so I thought it was licensing. I talked to some attorneys, yeah, license is fine. And then until I go a little bigger, and then some of my attorneys said, no, I think you are franchise, my friend. You gotta do it right.
Okay.
So I did. In 2011, we franchised our business and we grew.
So your business is in the portfolio that I sell. So let's talk to potential franchisees who might be listening.
Mm.
Um, we're going to take a quick break first, and then I'll come back with this question. So we'll be right back with Hao Lam.
Another government job, or your own business. Decisions, decisions. Jobs are no longer secure. This is the reason you should consider your own business. Start from scratch? Risky. Franchising gives you a business with a blueprint and 8 out of 10 are successful. Plus, 63% aren't food businesses. Some are even home-based. Options are power. Download your free guide and see if franchising is your next move.
We're back with my guest, Hao Lam, and we were just getting ready to go into who makes a great best-in-class franchisee.
Excellent. So we work with many wonderful franchisee, right? A typical will be probably a stay-home mom or dad. They have younger kid, and then they are very well educated because they have to raise their kid. They stay home for a little bit, few year, and now the kid is in school. They are stable, but they don't want to go back to a 9 to 5, right? They want to do something. They want to give back to the community. They are very passionate about helping the community and help education. So they run the business between 4 to 8, 2 or 3 days a week. During the daytime when the kids is in school, they're able to do some networking like yourself, you know, um, going to different events,
Mhm.
doing social media and all the stuff. And because best in class is not a one size fit at all, we have three revenue stream, Tony. We have the enrichment program. We help K to A student math and or English. This is a membership base, so it's a recurring revenue. This is our bread and butter. And then secondly, we have private tutoring for middle and high schooler, someone who need a little bit of help in whether it's mathematics or physics or history or writing. And lastly, most importantly, you probably heard of the SAT, right, Tony? When you need to when students go to college, they need to take the DSAT, it's a digital SAT, and we also have a program to help the students, small group, 4 to 10 students, they help them prepare for the SAT, get them get the highest score possible so that they can get to the college of their choice.
Awesome. Three revenue streams. I didn't realize that. So
Oh
that's
yeah.
awesome. And then your business during the day is closed. So after
Mhm.
school,
Yeah.
to maybe 7 or 8 p.m. at night. So it's a great, air quotes, part-time business.
Oh
Um,
yeah, yeah. 20,
yeah,
30 hour, starting at 4, right? Start when the kid is out of school. Sometimes it's 3, sometimes 4, and it's very low investment. Unlike, if you open a food concept, it's gonna cost you half a million, a
right.
million to build out. It is 85 to $150,000. Very simple. Set up tables and share some equipment, get it up and running very quickly and affordably.
Awesome. Wonderful. Okay. So if you are listening and you are interested in best in class, contact me. Let me vet you to make sure it's a good fit. And then
Yes.
I will make the introduction to Hal.
Tony is the best person to talk to. Yeah.
So I want to ask the two questions I ask every guest. The first one is, How has networking helped you in life and business?
Wow. I think it is critically important. Networking have been one of the most powerful tool for me to build a business. You and me, you and I are in a lot of the event, right? It's a networking event, right? It's not just about collecting contact. It is about building real meaningful relationship, right?
Correct.
Without me meeting you, we wouldn't be here today, right?
Correct.
Over the year, I have met mentor, other franchisor, franchisee, investor, partners, who have changed my thinking and opened door to so many opportunity for networking. When you ask that question, coincidentally, Tony, I wrote a Forbes article in October last year. The title is Networking with Purpose.
Mm,
Beyond trading business card to build valuable connection. If you
mm,
Google Forbes and my name, right? I talk about a few key points. I'll just quickly run over it. No time to go detail. It's the value of in-person networking. Online Zoom meeting is all great, but it's just not compare, right? It's not the same,
correct.
right?
Correct.
When you and I met on a 2 day event, we
Sure.
had a meal together, we chit chat, we sat on the same table 2 or 3 times. It's not the same. And you grow new circle through
Correct.
strategic networking, right? You expand. So today I'm sitting at this table. I notice you, me. We try to sit on another table another time, right? And
Correct.
but the people say that while going to an event is very important, joining a chamber of commerce is very important. But view the deals and as a strategic investment, not
That's
it's
right.
not an expense. It is
Correct.
your marketing expense, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yep.
And what is the next point is your meeting approach for a networking success. I still remember last time we met at the Title Center. Did you have the clap thing, right? It was so memorable, right? Like it is great that people will see, people remember you. I think a lot of
Sure.
people, including myself, took that thing home, and then
Sure.
it happened, right? So you're meeting a and then what do you want to get out of it before you go? Ask yourself, how many contact do I want? Whom do I want? What do I want to get at this? What's the ROI? And create a memorable introduction like yourself, right? You are a very good coach, right? You walk your talk. You taught people
Correct.
how to do networking. And then every time I see you, you either pull out a beautiful flyer or you have something that I cannot forget about you, Tony. And then lastly and importantly, I want to share the last point is follow up to foster a lasting relationship. When you go home, you say, hey, forget about it, right? I try to follow up with the people whom I met. Not everybody, maybe half a dozen to a dozen people. Thank you so much. Connect them on LinkedIn. Thank you so much. It was wonderful meeting you at the Title Center. Because next time when you came across the name, you don't remember where you see Jason or Emily, right?
Correct.
Now, with that, messages or emails. Oh, last time we met at Titus Center. Last time we have the IFA. Last time we met at the emerging franchise and all the stuff. So those are some of the points that I share on the fourth month.
Absolutely. You hit all the points. I
Did
love
I?
it. And I will go and find that Forbes article. Excellent. Excellent. I want to write for Forbes. Can you introduce me?
Let me try. Of course.
Mm. So, okay, last question. And this one seems a little silly because
Hmm.
your whole life is drastic. But if you could pinpoint one thing, you probably can't. What's the biggest drastic step you've ever taken in life or business? How?
Awesome. So in life, I already shared it, my escape, right? Besides leaving my country, I
Sure.
think starting my own business and franchising, I do too, is probably the biggest step. It is hard. So many people, like you said, sometimes they like their job, they're okay, but they don't like their job, right? Making that leap, right?
Correct.
To start a business is not easy. You don't have that paycheck anymore, right? Like
Correct.
how many business fail? They do. but it is very rewarding. If I can turn back the clock, I would not do anything but start my business. So starting my business, especially at the time, I barely speak English. And
Yeah.
many people that I know, including my friends and family, told me, how this is not Vietnam. Go get a job. Don't start a business. No one do tutoring. I proved them wrong, Tony.
Yes. Yes. And I'm guessing you teach your franchisees how to get out of their comfort zone through your story and through your
Exactly.
actions. You're like, and I know your probably tolerance for excuses is low.
And your vision, right? What do you want to do? And then you have to take risks, right? And life is taking risks. Even if you have a job, how do you guarantee that you won't let go tomorrow? You have experienced that. Everybody experienced
Yes,
that,
we have.
right? And then what is your vision, right? For best in class, to make a difference through education. I'm sure you help so many of your clients make a
Yeah,
difference in their life by owning a business, by
absolutely.
networking, and then level up their business by the power of networking.
Well, Hal, you have been amazing. And I knew I liked you from the moment we met. We sat at Springboard Conference. We sat at
Yeah,
this table. That's when we first met and have seen each other at events ever since. Tell
yeah.
everybody how to get in touch with you, please.
Yeah, so you can connect me online or how at bestinclasseducation.com, and also connect me through LinkedIn, linkedin.com, and then just / Hao Lam. And then, of
Awesome.
course, we also have a website, bestinclassfranchise.com. If you are interested in changing career, buying a business, Tony is a perfect person to talk to. She can help you out, whether it's best in class or any other concept. I am sure you will be in good hands. She's going to interview you, talk to you, and find you the right business. It will change your life.
It will change your life. Thank you so much, Hal. Your energy is infectious. I just love the connection we have made, and I'm grateful that you gave us a little bit of your time.
Thank
Thanks.
you so much for the opportunity. The honor is mine.
We're going to take a quick break, and we'll be back with my final thoughts.
If you think franchising isn't for you, think again. Here's how Multicultural Franchise Connectors is changing the game. At Multicultural Franchise Connectors, we believe in the power of diversity to transform the franchising industry. Our mission? To empower underserved multicultural communities with the knowledge, resources, and connections they need to confidently explore franchising opportunities. Did you know that less than 15% of franchisees are minority-owned? But we're not stopping there. MFC's 4 pillars: guide successful business owners in franchising their operations, help potential franchisees interested in purchasing franchise businesses, support business owners to supply their services to franchises, or assist individuals to secure employment opportunities within franchise corporate offices. MFC is designed to break down barriers and open doors. Through comprehensive workshops, mentorship programs, networking events, and expert consultations, we're paving pathways to economic empowerment and community growth. And come 2027, we'll be offering grants to help you secure the financial support you need. Join us today and become part of a thriving multicultural franchise community. Visit multiculturalfranchise.org for more information. Empower your future. Empower your community. Together, we're making franchising dreams a reality.
We are back, and that was a fantastic conversation, from bad to worse to best in class. Thank you, Hao Lam, for sharing your story, your heart, your passion, and we're going to do some big things together. So I want to encourage you to download your ebook, Take Control, your guide to owning a franchise and building your future, at drasticfranchise.com. drasticfranchise.com. Go there, download this ebook. It's got some great information. It's a quick read, and then get on my calendar. Let's talk about where you want to play in franchising. As you saw on the commercial before, you can One, turn your business into a franchise like Hao did, right? How do you go from being a refugee to being a franchisor? So it's possible for you too. Number two, you can buy a franchise. You can buy a franchise for your family, or buy a franchise that's a great companion to what you already do. What do I mean by that? Real estate agents. There are a ton of franchises out there that you could buy to complement your business. I heard about one this week. It was photography, real estate photography. That, first of all, who knew there was a franchise for real estate photography? And it's a great compliment. And then number three, supplier services to franchises. Franchises are spending billions of dollars on products and services, and most of us don't know that. And the beauty of that is you sell it once to the franchisor, and by extension, you get the franchisees. And then lastly, if you want to work for a corporate headquarters of a franchisor, Multicultural Franchise Connectors will help you to get there. So take some action, tell somebody, and keep showing up. This is Tony Harris Taylor saying take a drastic step today for a fantastic tomorrow, and we'll see you next week.
Let's sing, so yeah.